You play? We're back. We're on.
It's just got a little loading symbol. We could be on.
Maybe. Who knows?
I think we're on now. G'day, mate. How are you?
Hey, mate. Good to be back in paradise.
Good to be back. What's going on here? Stuffing up already. All right, we are back.
Another week in the books.
Another week in the books, mate. Interesting week.
Yeah, very interesting. I thought overall scores would have been a lot lower than they were. I was surprised that a lot of people were 2,400 plus this week.
Richard was saying he follows I don't know if it's like a page or a program or something that's like tracking how everyone's going. And he
That's cool.
said he said there were a lot of big scores out there, but I thought I would have done higher, to be honest, but I guess that's the difference with not having a solid captain. Went with Neil again. Was going to go with Darcy or Oliver as well. Didn't decide not to do Oliver, and then it was raining over in Perth, so I decided to go with Neil um, over Darcy, and Darcy outscored him by 30 points, so not the end of the world, but yeah, a bit annoying.
Yeah, slightly annoying.
Hmm.
How'd your team go overall? Not too bad.
Not too bad, 2288, which was top 21%, so I've gone up a little bit again. Slowly chipping away at the top, but same old story. Started a little bit but too far behind, so got a long way to go. But at least now the team's starting to look to sort of where I want it to be.
Yeah, give us a look, mate. Show us what you're working with.
Yes. Let's have a look here. How did you score, by the way? You scored 22.
2,200 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I had Oliver as captain, so I don't really know what went wrong there.
Mm.
A few random low scores, but I think most people had them, so I don't really know.
And you didn't have a ruck cover as well.
I didn't. Some weird bug. I don't know what happened. But that only cost me 60 points, so I feel like I still should have been up like high 2,300. So
yeah,
I don't really know. It's one of those weeks, so
yeah. Like everyone, it was a bit up and down. Miller had a shocker.
I guess Cripps, Miller, low scores.
You play Clark on field as well.
Yeah, Clark on field, he was low score. Nick Martin, low score. So there's a few points there. And Dacos, low score. And Doherty was low score as well. So
did you keep Cogs?
Nah, I got rid of Cogs.
Yeah, me too.
Classic, got rid of Cogs.
I still stand by that decision, like long term.
So do I. Yep. And you got to remember there was no Aish or Torrento playing either.
Yeah, 100%. And and Whitfield as well. And you're not gonna play West Coast every week. So yeah, okay, they've got North Melbourne next week, but in 2 weeks' time. But obviously with the buy in between there, and he just didn't suit my buy structure, so it was now or never really for him. And looking at my forward line, I at the time was pretty happy to have either a Jackson or someone else over him. Plus I got Bailey Smith to come in now, so that was my sort of thought process. I still stand by it, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes for the people that have held him.
Well, as we said, it was like we're going to drop him and he'll either score 40 again or he'll score 140, and he scored 140. So didn't quite go our way this week, but I still stand by this decision, I think. I think with Taranto and Aish and Whitfield and stuff coming back, he's not going to get as much of the ball as he was this game, especially. So
like the trades that I did for him were obviously I had to deal with Steele, but I also managed to get Sinclair in. So I didn't lose out on points really at all. Bailey Smith got 117, Sinclair got 138. So I wasn't down on points at all. It was just that extra trade. But I mean, to get two players that I'm 100% going to have at the end of the year with barring injury, it's just worth it every day of the week. So, got a bit of decision making to make over the next couple of weeks. I sort of, as I was saying to you before, just did a little bit of a spreadsheet up, worked out which players I'm going to have at the end of the year and which ones I need to replace, and worked out how many trades, and I'm cutting it fine. So
it's getting close.
So I'm thinking there's probably 7, give or take 7 players that I could replace in this team. So obviously, the three rookies off the top, and then potentially a Jackson at the bye, a Daniel at the bye. They're more luxury trades, but
fuck, we got a crazy cat just jumping on
oh
board,
no,
trying to get in the show.
It's a scratch.
What's a scratch?
How's the puppy?
Yeah, dog's going all right. Just having a bit of a sleep at the moment. But now I just got the cat fucking coming in.
No, it's like wake the dog up and then the
fucking zoo in this place, mate.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, sorry, as you're saying, 8 players that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, so seven I could do, and then I think 4 that I have to do. So I'll probably end up only doing maybe 5 or 6 of those at a max, and then the other ones I'm just going to have to live with. So I'm hoping that a Jackson or a Daniel can sort of turn it around a little bit. Every time they
Jackson
look like
turnaround would be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would help the cause a little bit.
Otherwise, he's one that I got to look at buys again. Yeah, so this week for me, yeah, there's not too much I can do because I need to wait till Bailey Smith gets forward before I sort of start doing too much
Slide
stuff.
him up. Yeah.
Yeah, but sort of working it out, I can either do O'Driscoll to a Cleary, which is 117,000. Oh, geez, g'day, G, how are you? Yeah, so I can either do O'Driscoll down to Cleary, which frees up a bit of cash, which I need to do.
You've still got Drizzy, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been using him as a bit of a loophole, but I think I'll definitely have a loophole again this week. Hawks playing Saturday night. Probably Ward will still be out. My plan was to keep these 2 guys till the end of the buys, but I just don't know how that's going to go, with my cash gen stuff now.
You looking to bring any primos in this week?
Well, that's the thing is if I do, Nick Martin's got a pretty high break even. So he's up to so he's scheduled to go down about 20,000. If I do him and O'Driscoll, it can sort of only get me someone mid 500s. If I do a Cleary, and I've just got to see a Hall I would love to have in the team, and he suits my buy structure, and he's 5'10", so if he's back, I don't think he will be though. He's a really good option.
Is he back this week potentially?
Potentially, but I think he had a bit of a setback. So he was supposed to be right for the round just gone, and then I think he had another setback. So now with that setback as well, not only is he back further, but you're thinking, is this guy just going to be able to get right this year? It might be better off, with the limited trades I've got, maybe just leaving that one out and looking at someone else instead. I just got to have a little bit of a look. So if I can't, if I need to sort of get a premium, I will want to get one this week. I may end up having to do a Dacos and Martin or something instead, and just leave O'Driscoll another week just so I can get who I want. Because as I said, I'm not bringing anyone in that's not going to be there at the end of the year. So
you want to go primo and a rookie potentially?
Yeah, well, I think Cleary, just having a look at the break evens. I was very close to going him on last week, so you'll notice in my team I didn't bring in a rookie last week, so managed to dodge the Karmas and the Thompson bullet that went round. I was very close to actually pulling the trigger on is it Saligo from the Crows?
Oh yeah.
Last week, so he had a break. His break even was only 8, but you can see at these first 2 games he went 29 and 14 or whatever it was, 10 or something, and then he got a 60, and then he ended up getting 96 this week. But so he's back down to a break even on 58. So I really wish that I ended up doing that. Would have meant that I kept Cogs. Would have meant I got Sicily in or Sinclair, and then I would have had a heap of cash for this week. So maybe I should have done that one, but I just didn't like the look of the rookies that much. And with Cleary, I wanted to see one more game. I'll wait until he gets named this week, obviously. Cooper Stevens is obviously one as well, but I'm getting to a point now where I'm not going to need the money from them. I'm just going to need essentially them playing through the buys. I'll probably only do one of them this week, but Cleary's obviously a good option. Break even of negative 67, scheduled to go up 60,000. So did you do one of the rookies last week?
Yeah, I had Karmas in. I was tossing up between Cleary and Karmas.
Yeah.
And I went with Karmas. Probably wish I'd gone Cleary now, but can't
As
really
we've
do
seen
anything
with some
about
of them,
that.
though, like, he's only one score away from getting that cashed in back going again. Like, Rose has sort of done that, and Rose is still
Yeah.
pretty low break even now, like back to 12. Karmas will be probably in a similar boat to him. And yeah, I mean, at least you can go Rory Thompson. A lot of people,
Yeah.
you feel like you're going. So I feel for him because he would have been probably my pick out of those two. Um, and he ends up going down. Even you think he's probably the one likely to hold his position, and he ends up getting injured. So it's a bit rough.
Yeah, it's very rough. I did see a couple of people brought him in as well, so
Yeah,
that's got to hurt.
that was my sort of thought process with when I went with Hamilton. Was he was only 102,000, and I was like, even if he doesn't get named, I haven't spent more money to then have a loophole. At least I've got a dual position.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Hopefully we'll see him back in the team as well. I'm hoping it was just like a first week new coach trying a few different things out.
yeah,
I thought he looked good enough to stay. So
couldn't believe he wasn't in after the few outs as well, though. Like, with Whitfield
yeah,
being out and
crazy.
stuff. Like, it's like I thought he was playing really well. I like the look of him, and his role looked good, and I thought he was doing some things right. So unless it's something else outside the club or like inside the club,
Yeah, maybe.
then
Yep.
But yeah, what else?
So with your team, what do you got left to lock out? You've got your D6, your
D6,
M8,
M8, and two forwards.
two forwards.
My plan was last week to bring in Gorn this week, with obviously Bruce going up a bit and Gorn coming down, but Gorn's still at 180 break even. Bruce didn't play, so
Yep.
I can hold off on that. And looking at the trades and how Gorn's going, I may end up just keeping what I've got. Darcy obviously scored well. I'll also have Darcy Cameron, who will become a forward ruck, and he will be able to give me cover there if I need it. So
Yeah, true. Snaggy, what's going on, mate?
Dave, mate, how are you? Good to see you. We're RDO down here, mate, so we're kicking things off a little earlier than what we normally do.
Yeah, I think with Gorn, I was looking to bring him in this week as well, but he's going to drop another 30, 40K this week.
Yeah. Makes no sense against Freo too. Like, it actually works out well to have another look at him, but break even 180, project to go down 33K, and that's if he scores 108. So the role that he's been playing, a bit more forward of the ball and stuff, I don't think he's going to score over 100 really against Freo. But
no, you never know. He could go full Gorn mode and score 140, but
that's the thing.
Yeah, if you can pick him up for 550-ish, sub 550, you'd be laughing, really. So, and it looks like if he's around that price point, I'll be able to go from Hayes to Gorn next week. So that'll be a nice.
Yeah, that's a nice trade, yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, as we were saying before, mate, it's just proving more and more costly to not have Wits and to not have Brody in. It's just killing us.
Yeah, that is fucking killing us.
Like, it's just it's like, not only is it just so much cash, but they're just scoring so highly. Like, it's just
yeah. Brody's like
cheat
one
mode.
of the highest averaging mid forwards at the moment, cheat mode, and Wits just popping off every week. So
like, it's crazy, as I was saying, like, just like tossing up a couple of trades before. Like, if I was to go, like, say, Drizzy and straight to Clears, knock that one off. And then, like, say I go a Martin and I wanted to try and use that money. He's actually the best value for money forward still at 525,000 with the best buy. That's another thing. His buy is so good, so everyone's just got an advantage there as well. It's just like, it just keeps working out to be just the best pickup ever.
That's crazy, right? I can't bring myself to pay that much money for him now.
It was too far behind. Too far behind.
Way too far behind.
Yeah, so I won't do it. I still don't think he's a final top six forward, so I'm gonna leave him. But yeah, I mean, you can see the temptation there. So
speaking of top six forwards, what are we thinking looking at that list right there? Obviously, we've probably got Baz and Bont going to come up as DPPs, and they'll probably slot in there somewhere.
Yeah.
What do you reckon the top six forwards are going to look like in the end?
Well, I think Dunkley's obviously the obvious one. I think everyone's forgetting about English.
If you go to average or something, he'll pop right to the top.
Yeah, so 3. He's still on 3 round average. Oh no, there you go, average. So yeah, he's still miles ahead. So it'll be interesting to see when he comes back whether he's uh well yeah, what happens there. Like Heaney's just one that we weren't very keen on at the start of the year. We thought this may happen. He was overscoring at the start of the year, and his 5-round average is only 89. Yeah, you can send your team in, Snags. I'll have a look, mate. We might do like a bit of a review today, mate, and if you want to have a bit more time to have a think, we can maybe do a bit of a Q&A later in the week or something like that. So if that helps. Yeah, so I mean, your top four are probably all Bulldogs, right? So probably got English, Bont, Smith, and Dunkley. So
it's crazy.
I'm guessing Luke Parker will finish in top six. And then I still got high hopes that Butters will finish the year well. Like he's probably got a high 3-round average here, or at least 2-round average. That's the thing, you can't even look at a player like Liberatore because how many fucking dogs can you have?
I know, that's my problem at the moment.
Yeah. You got
I think I'll
Treloar
probably
as well.
I got Treloar as well,
Yeah.
who's averaging 98. So, yeah, my forward line when I slide Baz forward will be Dunkley, Bailey Smith, Treloar, and if I pick up English as well, and it's like 4 of them.
Yeah. Jaws, g'day, mate.
It's pretty crazy. It's like the Dogs have an off night and they don't score well. Like that's my whole forward line down.
I know. Imagine if COVID went through as well.
Yeah, and I've got McRae in the team too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah.
it's a bit of a risk.
One player I have been extremely happy with the pickups, Darcy Cameron. Like he's 130. Like because Cox went down on the weekend, so I think he had like 80% ruck time in the middle. Just shows his scoring percentage. Like I think he's only like 60-40 when there's another ruckman there, but Begg will come back in now, and when he's been rucking with Begg, he's been 110, 120, so it looks like it's going to be a good pickup and got a good buy, so pretty happy with that. I don't know what else is going to fill out the top forwards. I guess you got the 4 ruckmen and then, Butters or it's total points.
Yeah.
Luke Parker's obviously one.
Luke Parker's up there too, yeah.
Interesting to see what happens with Cogs now.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he's going to end up there. I don't think he'll be close in the end, but you never know. Could surprise me. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with the amount of trades that I got left. I might be stuck with keeping like a Jackson in the forward line. Just depends how well he starts performing. And then the question is, who do I bring in? Do I just bring in like an English or a Bont or something like that and stack the forward line with Bulldogs and take that risk?
Yeah.
Just because it's going to play so well, but then what are your other options really?
Yeah, that's like I'm finding it a big enough challenge to get 3 dogs in my forward line, and you're gonna have 4. So I can imagine. I don't know. It's a bit. They're all scoring well. That's the thing though. Like it's not like they all have like one has an off night and the others sort of make up. They all score well. Like all the time.
Score well. Yep.
So I think they're actually taking away from McRae scoring a little bit.
Yeah, I think they are.
I think the cat might have fucked your camera, by the way, mate. So you might have to change the focus on.
Yeah, right. Classic.
Yeah, so interesting on there. The other option I have is to have a little bit of a play around before is to do Dacos a bit earlier than I wanted, even though he suits my buys quite well. And then do a Martin, go down to a Cleary, and then that leaves me 640k to pretty much get whoever I want to help finish my team. I think Martin's looking a little bit tired. Dacos is probably going to have a tough few weeks as well, so some decisions to make there.
Camera should be back down, mate. Sorry, just turn it off and back on.
There it is. So this way, it sort of doesn't help me as much over the buys because obviously I won't have Dacos, and Drizzy I still need to deal with next week, but it does mean I can get whoever I want to sort of help finish my team now. So if an English is back, it means I can get him. Some other players that I was having a bit of a look at I'd love to get Bont in. Even gives me the chance to get a Mills if I was really wanting to, or a Stewart or something like that. So just got to have a look at sort of who's going to suit the buys best, or even Sicily still. So can just move DeConing forward and get Sicily in there as well. So that's tempting. So yes, it's killing me not having him.
Sicily, yeah,
Mm.
he's just an absolute weapon.
As I was saying to you earlier, it makes me laugh. I was looking back at my trade history, and Erasmus was a trade I did so I could bring in Hall and Doherty in the 1 week. Um, so I had a chance after Hall went down injured on the Friday night, I think it was. I had a chance to swap Doherty and Erasmus to Sicily and Brody. So at the time, Sicily was still like 450 and Brody was like 300. And I ended up going swapping Erasmus to Mead so I could keep Doherty in, and it's been downhill ever since.
It's just one of those ones, right? You think
Because
you're trying to make the right call, and then yeah, you never know.
I was thinking, are those guys going to be top six in either spot? And I was like, I think Doherty will be, and I don't think the others will. So I'll make that call. And the next week, I ended up trading Hall and Erasmus out anyway. So still got Doherty though. So what do we? I got 200 and sorry,
You're
not
like
200.
2280, and I've got like 2210 or something.
Yeah, so top
Um,
21%. What about you guys? Actually, how'd you go? Ladham's wasn't overly impressive there, John.
uh,
But look, mate, I still stand by it. I don't think there's much you can do, and this is the shit thing about Gorn this week is you've almost got to wait another week now
yeah, that's the problem.
because his break even's
Uh,
180. So,
yeah, I think the real
oh,
problem.
nice, Snaggy.
2350, nice.
Good, mate. Who'd you have as captain? Yeah, I left probably 80 points there from the wrong captain choice, but not gonna get it right every week. A couple of the guys I was watching had didn't have Hayes as selected as emergency and stuff like that. So Georgia did that as well. So rookies. Um, what are you thinking this week, mate? What are your
Yeah, Neil as captain. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
so
nice.
more points on the board as well.
Mm,
Yeah, for me, I've got to say my team, but you probably bring up the photo I sent you midweek. It'll be the same. Um, I'm probably a bit torn at the moment of what slot I want to fill out this week. I'll definitely be bringing in a premium this week. Just undecided at the moment which way I want to go.
yeah,
I could go D6. I'd love to bring in Sinclair into that spot.
yeah.
I just think what I thought was going to happen came true over the weekend. He was like leading possession getter for a lot of the game. Just had so much more of the ball with Steele out. So
Yeah, yeah,
I think he's definitely going to be a top six defender going forward for the next part of the season, especially while Steele's out. So
yeah.
yeah, I'd like to get him in. It suits my buys, my team pretty well. So wouldn't mind getting him.
So
Otherwise, I
he suits
can.
your buys as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
Yeah,
What round does St Kilda have again?
they're off first, like around 12. They got the buy, so
Yeah.
that's the only thing is like, what's his break even? Like, could you potentially wait a week and get him coming off his buy? Because otherwise you're going to have him.
Yeah. I think his
Otherwise you're
break
going to have
even's
him.
low.
Yeah, I had a feeling it's like 70 or something. So
Yeah.
might be
I mean,
worth weighing up whether it's worth having an extra premium for that round 12, for the round 12, and getting him after and paying an extra 20,000 or something potentially.
yeah. And what are we going into round 11? So,
So
I mean, it
he'd
could
only be
be.
playing one round and then he's got to buy. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it'd be about 20K more probably. That's not a bad thought.
yeah, I think that would be better for your points. Obviously, if you've got like 22 players playing round 12, round one of the buyers,
Yeah.
you might be able to pull the trigger. But
I think I'm sitting at like 19 at the moment, so that wouldn't hurt.
mm,
Yeah, my
still,
other
though,
options
like if
were filling out my M8 or chucking in another forward. So I'm tossing up whether I get rid of both Dacos and Martin this week
yeah,
or just potentially Martin. If English is named in the squad this week, I'd be pretty tempted to pull the trigger on getting him inside.
yeah, it's tempting.
Yeah, I mean, it was just illness, right? So it wasn't like a really big
He's
injury or
been pretty
something
ill
that's
though. I think
set
he
him
lost
back.
like I think he
He
lost like
did,
10
yeah.
kilos,
Yeah, he did.
which will
But that's why,
that'll impact his like contested ball, his ruck work. Like it'd be pretty it'd be pretty interesting to see. Like it's a little risky bringing him in without having a look at him first. You know what I mean? Like, do they try and protect him a bit up forward? Like,
it is a risk, yeah. Do I think he'll probably be right up there by the end of the season, though? I think he will be. So, um, yeah, it's tough. Otherwise, I could pull the trigger on my M8 position and get in pretty much anyone I wanted to.
yeah.
So for me, yeah, it's just about weighing up who I want.
Could you
Trackers definitely on the cards. There's a few others. What are you going to say?
maybe it could be the week for Bont if you.
It could be the Bont. I could definitely get Bont.
He's still
It's
under
just
600, which is like good buying, and I think he's flying under the radar a bit still.
I mean, it would suit my round 12 buy strategy for
Yeah.
sure.
How you looking for round 13 buys?
Let me have a look.
So yeah, his break even's 91, so he's not going to go up massive in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't suggest, but he's just ticking along pretty nicely, just building the Bont. 125. What's this thing so fuck fickle?
Yeah, I think I'm sitting at 19 for round 13 as well. So drop to 18, I guess, with him if I brought him in. Yeah, it's an interesting one. What's his break even?
91. So I'm like, because I had a choice between sort of him and Baz last week, I ended up going cheaper option Baz. He's now one I've probably got to bring in after the round 13, but I think I will try to, but I can't bring in both. I just have too many outs for round 13 now. I've sort of overcompensated. I was so short around 12, and now I'm a bit short around 13. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
Have you've got Petrarca?
I don't have track.
Oh, you don't have Tracker?
Yeah, so he's the other option I was looking at. Otherwise, I could literally just pull the trigger and go fucking anyone. Like I could go a Parish if I wanted to as well. He's been averaging really well. So yeah, this
Parish same boat as Sinclair. Like he's got that first buy.
Yeah, the first buy. It doesn't bother me too much though.
Yeah.
It would give me an extra player. But then you're always going to pay the piper later on, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted this week to look at a player that's going to play like round 12 and 13, so I get that extra game out of him before,
Yeah, that would help.
Have you got any consideration for
plays
Brayshaw?
12 and 13. Is it Melbourne plays round 12 and 13?
Yeah, Melbourne, Freo, Hawks. That's pretty much the main ones you need to know.
I have consideration for Brayshaw. I think his break even's still pretty high though, so he's set to drop like 15, 20k this week. That's probably one of the only things holding me back. It's like, do you bring him in and then just lose 20k in a week straight away?
It's sort of been a bit. It's been a bit disappointing the last few weeks, to be honest. I had very high hopes for him, and I was like, he was right on my list. He has struggled the last couple of weeks, and Fife's going to be back in soon. Don't know how that's going to affect things. I think it could benefit him, but yeah. What did you score, Jaws? Are you still hanging around, mate? I'm just keen to see what you got with Laddams as your captain. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. How much, so you don't have anyone else to sort of deal with on the bench? Like I'm sort of looking at mine and I'm so torn about potentially doing a double downgrade this week. That sort of stuff, just because I don't know what the next sort of weeks are going to look like.
Who would you go with double down? Obviously Cleary, but who else?
I had my eye on Cooper Stevens for a couple of weeks. I definitely want to see him get named, not as an emergency, like not as a medical sub, but I'm pretty impressed with how he's been going for Geelong. But again, it just doesn't help the buy. There is a player that I would probably look at picking up after his round 12 buy, and it's that he played for GWS on the weekend. He played his first game.
What's his fucking name?
Where? Is it Where?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
So I wouldn't go early on him, I don't think, but he's another defender that's 123 that suits the buy structure a little bit more. You can get him afterwards, so he's definitely one that I can look at the next few weeks. Yeah, I mean the other one was it Cooper? Yeah, so Cooper Stevens. I could probably only go one of him or Cleary, so I'd probably still go Cleary, but it's definitely an option there.
Yep.
65 in both games or whatever, and Adelaide Dogs and West Coast has got some good games coming up.
Projected 50k increase. It's not bad.
Hmm, definitely going to be a bit more like consistent. I think
Yep.
he'll sort of just go like 60, 70. Whereas some of those other guys are just you don't know what you're going to get, like a Buku.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Is Buku?
Okay. How good's fucking Taconing been for Geelong?
Oh yeah,
I thought he was just going to be a bit of a low scorer early in the season. He's just
yeah,
really found his form
yeah.
recently.
He's
Like
just like the longer the season goes on, like the higher his scoring's been. He's like on a look at that. It's just going up and up and up.
85 this
So
week. It's huge.
I know you don't have McCartan, but I'm glad that I brought him in the end because he's been very similar to DeConing, and I've been able to swap him around like based on how they've been
Yeah, I mean,
playing.
apart from that concussion round, he's
Yeah,
been scoring really well.
yeah, for sure. So they're two players that both have round 13 buys. So I'm hoping that I can get like both of them play round 12, and then I'll do like a double trade with them, get a rookie and an upgrade in someone who's played like coming off the round 12 buy. So I'm hoping that that'll be like a Walsh potentially. Otherwise,
Yep.
if I'm looking for someone a little bit cheaper, like I've already got Parrish, but Merritt's going to be like 500k almost.
Yeah, he'll be pretty cheap.
Is it one? So his break even still 150 and he's 530k. So he's going to be going down again. So one more week, then he's got to buy. Then he'll be pretty close to 500k. And, coming off his 5 round average isn't even that bad. He's had 157 and that's the only reason he's sort of down.
Yeah, 500k, that's a pretty fucking good price.
Absolutely. So he's definitely red hot on the radar if I need someone a bit cheaper.
Yeah, another one I'm keeping my eye on. I don't have faith in at the moment, but he's super cheap. Is Tom Mitchell? Just keeping him on the watch list in the back burner. He's like sub 500k at the moment. He's going to go down a little bit more as well. He scored 120 on the weekend. Obviously, with him, you need him to get like 40 disposals to score 120, 130.
Yeah.
But if you can find sort of those centre clearances a little bit more and get some of his form back, he could be a really cheap get for some teams in like an M8 or even M9 sort of position.
Yeah, well, it looks. I'm going to have a look at the centre bounce attendance, but I think they have like indicated that they want him as a sort of in and under midfielder a bit more over the next few weeks. But it's just one of those things where if you're finishing your team for the year and Sam Mitchell decides to do something, he's sort of been hovering around that 50% all year. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah,
you just don't know what Mitchell's going to do. That's the problem. And that was, obviously that was my major concern. Sicily, obviously, he's probably the best defender in the comp at the moment. So don't think he'll be going forward anymore. But, you don't know in that young team when they're just full out attack. Anything could happen.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, obviously huge ceiling, great price. Like, someone who can score 140 a game. What did he average in his Brownlow year? It was like almost 130.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You can send your team in if you want, George. We can have a quick look. Otherwise, maybe we can just do a little bit of a review today, and then maybe we'll do a little Q&A later in the week or something, Sam, if you're around on Thursday or something like that. Once we sort of seen the teams or something like that. Maybe just put in the chat if you've got some trade thoughts or like players that you're potentially looking at bringing in. We'll give you a bit of an idea. Like, it is handy just to run stuff by each other. Like even you saying Sinclair and stuff, probably having him for 1 week's probably not like.
Yeah, probably wait till after the bye and then bring him in. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd love to get Walsh this week, but I'm same position.
Yep.
Have him for 1 week or wait 2 and then get him after the bye, so it makes a bit more sense. So yeah, but I think I'll end up probably having to do like Martin and Dacos potentially, which does leave me a little bit short in round 13. That's the only problem, but
Yeah, so Martin Dacos, bringing Cleary,
Mm.
and then a primo of some sort. Are you thinking
Yeah,
midfielder or?
definitely primo, but yeah, just be. I think it has to be. I think it has to be a primo that I'm gonna have at the end of the year, like as
Yeah, at
in,
this point, I think
but
it
also
does. Yeah.
plays around 12 and 13.
Yep.
So, Richard, yeah, we're RDO day for us, mate. So we're knocking things off a bit early. I'm out tomorrow night, so just doing a little bit of a review and then might do a bit of a Q&A later in the week.
Snaggy saying Nick Martin and Dacos to Brayshaw and Cleary. Yeah, Brayshaw's a tempting one, as we were saying earlier, with the round 13 bye, whatever it
Yeah.
is. So you get him for the first two rounds, and I've got most. I think I have like 21 players in round 13 anyway, so um, it wouldn't bother me too much him being out there. The only thing that holds me back on Brayshaw is his 130 odd break even and
Mm.
just how he's been scoring over the last couple of weeks.
I wouldn't be too worried about his like break even now because like you're not going to be like trading him up or down regardless. You know what I mean? So if you're bringing him
Yeah,
in, it's
good
because
point.
he's going to be at the end of there at the end of the year. So it's if you're bringing him in, it's because you believe that he's going to be a top eight midfielder essentially from here on, or at least generate you more points because of his buys. That it outweighs, bringing in a Sinclair or something. So because you get that extra game out of him, bringing him in now, he might make those points up. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, see,
but his
would
five
I
round
bring him
average
in or
is
would I bring in Petraka? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
100%.
yeah,
Oh,
Petraka's still got a lower break even too, I think.
yeah, so you're paying an extra 30K for Tracker. I'd be tempted to go Tracker over a
Brayshaw, yeah.
Brayshaw for sure. Yeah, his five round average is 100. Whereas you look like a Tracker, his five round average 115, and he finished the year really well last year as well. So um, yeah, do you have Tracker Snaggy? That could be an option for you. Oh, you've got Tracker already, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The other option is if you do you have Sicily? I'm trying to remember if you had Sicily or not, but he's another one with that good buy that is hot on my radar because just because of that. But then again, you're paying 615,000 for a defender. It does seem like quite a bit, but I mean the form he's in at the moment.
Yeah,
Josh Kelly scored well again.
he did, yeah. He did score very well. What's he up to now? 590 or something, is
Yeah,
he? Or
five round average 122, 590K. Break even still 68, so you'd be happy you held on to him, Jaws. I was thinking Laddams and Stevens for English and Soligo. I think you're better off, like unless I think you're better off going maybe Cooper Stevens, like over is it Soligo?
yeah.
Um, just because you're going to save yourself like 40K just straight off the bat because he's what Saligo's up to 160 now. So Cooper Stevens got a negative 57 break even, projected to go up the same amount. Even having a look at the cash cows here, he's still predicted to go up more, and you're saving 45,000 there. So plus they've got the same buy structure. So I think I'd be going him. Job security of Saligo might be a little bit better, so maybe wait and see if they're named. But yeah, but I'd personally be going Cleary over both of them unless because he's got the same buy as them as well. So defender ones are a little bit more hard to come by, so that might be an option for you. What are your thoughts on that one, Sam?
Yeah, I like it. It just depends what position you're trying to fill, right? If he needs a midfielder for his buys, and I think he's probably a bit better of a shot. But if you need a defender in your lineup, then Cleary's a great player
Mm.
to bring in as well. So both good options this week, I think.
So yeah, like that's the thing with Laddams, mate. Is like he's such a it's a bit of a tricky one because he's such a good option to go to Gorn, but you don't want to go on Gorn yet.
Yeah, I think Gorn has to be another week at least.
Yeah. The
Which
the
is
good
shit for
thing
me
about
because
sorry, you go.
oh yeah, I mean I'm in the same boat. Like I want to bring him into my team, right? I was hoping to bring him in this week, but
Mm.
you may as well wait one more week and get him for fucking sub
Mm.
550. So
See, yeah, I mean, as that is one thing you can do, Jaws, is like because you can go to English in the ruck and then you can move English forward. So that is potentially not a bad idea. Um, yeah, as we were saying just before, though, he's been out for a long time. English, does he come back in the same form? He has lost like a bit of weight, being sick and being in hospital and that sort of thing. So he's not one I'm jumping at to get in straight away. But I can definitely see if you need to get rid of the ruckman. Um, what?
Oh, he's got no Oliver in the team.
Yeah, it's going to be hurting a little bit. Let's have a quick look here. So a quick look. Sinclair's nice. Got Brayshaw in.
I think Gibkis's break even's pretty high this week too. It's almost to the point you might want to start thinking about letting him go.
Yeah, he's been good. Just depends on what your buyers are doing there, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there's no point having that cash sitting there. The other thing you could do, mate, if you didn't want to jump early on English, is potentially move Jackson up into where Laddams is. Just have that for a week, get a forward in, and then the week after you can potentially upgrade someone else, move Jackson back forward, and then get Gawn in or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in waiting another week on English, right? Like his price point's not really going to change that much.
No.
You bring Jackson to the ruck, he's going to score more than Laddams at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
You could finally get rid of him and then bring a forward in if you wanted to, or you could do some weird bench play and bring a mid in as well.
He's got 155k, so you can pretty much get whoever you want. Of the forwards available, I think you're in a position where you can't really get anyone in that forward line. I think you got to wait for the Bont to be able to move forward.
Yeah, but he could like sub Hamilton into the forward
Yeah,
line.
that's what I'm
bring
thinking.
Jackson up and then swap like Roses onto the field or something. Something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward.
It's awkward, yeah.
If you're happy to maybe you can see if you can do a little bit of a loophole with Roses and Hamilton or something. If Hamilton even plays, that could work. And then bring in a midfielder this week. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, and then bring in a midfielder. Or you could bring in Bont this week if you wanted to.
The only thing with that is
DPP in a week.
He's got Bont already.
Oh, he's got Bont. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you could do Smith, but
yeah, Baz. Yeah, you could bring in Baz.
The only thing is, like, doing it that way is you're taking Clark off the field, and you'd probably rather have Clark on the field than like a Roses, right?
Yeah, true.
But I mean, they only scored 4 points difference last week, but yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, mate. You're gonna have to have a little bit of play around, put some trades to us anyway. But yeah, I'd definitely be fiddling around if you're keen to get what's Laddams break even. Probably 400.
400 now, yeah, surely. Something at least.
Jaws, to be honest, mate, I commend you for trying something different though. Like, there's no point when you're behind like others, like just doing the same as everyone else. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But yeah, 155, another 30k. Yeah, definitely got to go this week, mate. So if you don't want to go early on English, I'd be moving Jackson in just for a cover for 1 week. Let Gawn come down another 30k, and then the week after you can do the old switcheroo again with the Bont being able to move forward as well. So I'll have a quick look at Snaggies. Sorry. All right. Snaggy's got Sicily, Brody, Trucker, nice. Team's looking good there, Snaggy.
The Wits Brody double. The 1-2 punch in the face.
Nick Martin and Dacos, Brayshaw and Clearance helps the buys, yeah. Yeah, Brayshaw is it's just that one, mate. If you're bringing him in now, it's because you think he's going to be a top 8 midfielder. Or you're happy having him at that M8. I'm not personally convinced, but I think he could only average potentially 100, 90 to 100 from here on in. So the only thing in his favour is Freo do a really good buy, a run after the buys. So He may pick that scoring back up, but then you're also going to have Fife that's going to be still a little bit of midfield time off him. What happens with Brody scoring then as well, don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he could always give, what's he got, 50k in the bank. You could always give Martin the flick with his high break even this week, slide Brody into the forward line, and bring in a midfielder there if you wanted to. Just depends who's going to work for your buy strategy, really.
Yeah, because he's already got Tracker, he's already got Steers. I'm trying to think who else is really gettable that's got that last buy. You want to obviously wait on Gorn. The other option is you bring in another defender and move like a McCartan or a DeConing forward.
Yeah, I mean, he could bring in, I mean, same thing with Sinclair, right? You may as well just wait another week.
You've only got 20, so you've only got 13 trades. You may be in a position this week where you can just do one down, free up some cash, and then after the buy next week, just go ham.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cash in the bank.
Yeah. What buy are you short on Snaggy? Because that'll sort of help us a little bit. Because if you're short on the round 13 buy, then you can sort of do something similar to me, is like do like a McCartan DeConing after they play round 12 or something.
13, he says.
Short on 13, yeah. So you're gonna have to do something along those lines, is what I'm doing. Do a McCartan and DeConing in the same week or something like that, and then pick up a that GWS player is looking really good. That if he keeps playing for a bit of extra cover. Yeah, 13 trades. That's what I'm thinking. It's like almost like a non-trade round, or like not maybe not a non-trade round, but like just get rid of Martin. Maybe move like a McCartan forward, bring in like a Cleary, and just chill for a week almost. Want to try and get some more money out of Bruce. Want to try and get some more money other places on the bench. Thoughts on that, or do you think you're better off trying to get another premium on?
Yeah, I don't mind that strategy with 13 trades left. Just get a bit of cash in the bank and wait till after that round 12 buy and get someone in there to help you out for round 13. It's not a bad option. Yeah, pushing it with 13 trades left, so you probably don't want to pull the trigger on too many things that you're not happy with for the end of the season, I guess. So,
because you got a couple of players there like Rosie and Rosie had a shocker.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, like those couple of players are ones that are going to be right on the either way, whether they're going to be top six forwards, right, if you're going to try and keep them. So, I mean, the other option you've got, this is not a bad idea, is you could actually move one of them on and as well this week and potentially get a Baz or a Bont in the midfield to then cover them next week, if that makes sense. Are either of them on your radar to get rid of Snaggy, Rosie, or Gresham? I know you sort of brought Rosie in for a little bit of point of difference, but yeah, Gresham's been good. He has been good. Yeah, that's the other option. You can go like say you went Martin and Rosie, just for example. You could go McCartan forward, Brody forward, bring in a Bont or a Baz, and then move in a Cleary as well. It's just that's the only thing is it fucks him for the round 13.
Yep.
Tricky. What by Paul got? Round 13. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt you trading Rosie out for Baz or something, but it doesn't help you. Yeah, a bit of a tricky one. Might have a bit of a think about that, mate, and get back to you, to be honest. You got any ideas running through your pretty face?
No. Thanks, mate. No, it is a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Might have to do some fucking Tetris there. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some other out-of-the-box options that you could use, but it's a bit tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Otherwise, Otherwise, what you can do is just bank that cash off Martin, and then
I think Martin's
after,
probably got to go.
yeah, Martin's got to
Um,
go. I think.
he
Yeah.
100% has to go.
Couple of bad rounds. He sort of he does look a little bit tired, and
Yeah.
they got another tough matchup this week.
They are playing Port.
Yeah, pretty tough
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, Martin's got to go. And then it's just who you bring in to help you out, and then probably just sit to the end of round 12. Try bringing someone to help you out for round 13, I think.
I
Pull the
think it's a
trigger
good
then.
idea, and just remember too, boys, you can like target those players coming off the bye as well. So trade out someone who's not going to be playing in round 13. Like say, I'm planning to do a DeConing and McCartan because they're both out round 13. Trade down to a rookie that is playing in round 13, plus bring in like a Walsh is on my radar, a Merritt's on my radar. Both guys who are coming off their bye and you're going to get their scores for round 13 and 14. So I'd be doing something similar for you guys as well. They get rid of Laddams and Dacos or Laddams and Martin. Dacos helps your buys more. I'd probably be more inclined to go Martin over Dacos. That's what I'm doing. It doesn't make any sense for me to get rid of Dacos unless I'm doing Dacos and Martin this week. So if I'm doing Drizzy and one of the others, it'll be Martin for sure.
Yep.
He's got that first buy, so there's no real point keeping him one more week. He'll go down another 20k, and then you got to trade him out for his buy anyway. I think it's a week to go. As I was, I did try to make Martin work last week instead of Cogs, funnily enough, but couldn't make it happen. The extra 40k I needed, and lost a few points there.
Do I get a primo back or forward? Good question, mate. Let me have a look.
Has Jaws got Sicily?
He doesn't have Sicily.
Could be an option, Jaws. I know he's expensive. I'm looking at him, but he's like one more. He doesn't have Oliver?
Doesn't have Oliver, yeah.
Doesn't have Tracker?
He's got Tracker.
Okay.
Got Tracker, Bont, no Baz, no Sicily, no Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver's becoming a bit of a must-have, I think, mate. He's 112 break even. You know, he's expensive, but he's fucking sending it. Helps the buyers.
Yeah, he does. It's a tricky one, mate. Your defense is pretty good. Like, you've just got to lock up that D6 position, and then you're probably in the same boat with us, where we've got to do 2 forwards and 1 mid that we need to get rid of. So, problem with the forward line at the moment is you don't have a super clear cut top 6, and then you've got players like Bont and Baz that'll probably slot into that top 6 once they get made DPP. So, and then you've got English, who's been out, who's probably going to be a lock in that top 6 as well. But then you haven't seen him play for a while. He's dropped 10 kilos. They could protect him a little bit in the first week back, and it's not great for your buys either. So, like, I was thinking about jumping on English, but the more I think about it, I'd probably rather wait and see him play a week first anyway, and maybe pick him up later in the buy rounds.
Well, say he comes back, they move him forward. He plays like half game time. He gets a 60. After his bye, you're going to be able to pick English up as the highest scoring forward by a fucking mile at like 530k or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've missed all those shitty scores. I know, like he could come back and score 120 straight away, but I think it's less likely than him scoring, something a little under at least.
Yeah. So unless you like pull the trigger on like a Baz or something, thinking you're going to put him forward when you get him. Otherwise, I think the forward line for me as well is probably something I'm just going to have to sit and wait on until the buys sort themselves out a little bit and the DPPs come into play. And
how are you looking on your
sliding players around a bit?
Are you short on 13 as well, Jules? It looks like you've got a lot of players in that round 13 buy. I mean, Laddam's on there as well. Get Laddam's out of that team, mate.
Yeah, get him out of there, boy.
Making me sick just looking at him.
Throw him in the bin. Yeah, so I'd probably go Ladhams out, Jackson Ruck, the Martin out. Well, I guess if you're going to do that, then you kind of need to bring in a forward, to be honest, if he does that. If he goes Ladhams out, Jackson Ruck, Martin out, then he kind of has to bring in a forward.
What's his like? What forward can he bring in?
Yeah, well, unless he takes the bullet and on English and jumps on it.
Yeah, but that, like he's fucked for around 13 then.
Yeah, he's fucked around 13 then. Who's a forward that he could bring in that doesn't have the 12 or 13 by?
He said, I'm getting rid of Ladhams. There's nothing you could say for me to keep. Even if he had around 14 by, I think he'd still be going.
Yeah, I think so too.
Who doesn't he have here? Like, Oliver, to me, I think he might have to pay up this week. Brody's one that you could definitely look at. Just for me, whether he's going to be able to keep that scoring up all year, you know? He's never played like a full season. Fife's coming back. Once you bring him in now, you're stuck with him. He does have that good buy. I mean, I've been wrong about him all year, so I keep being wrong about him. It's hard to like. That's what I was saying to Sam earlier. Is if you looked at it like and not knowing what we know, like where he started, you would say he's the best value forward right now with the best buy. What he was just an obvious choice. So,
but we just have so much bias from not bringing him in earlier in the year, and then the point is that now it's I can't do it to myself to touch him. To be honest,
yeah.
I couldn't do it to myself to touch him fucking 5 rounds ago, so I'm definitely not going to do it now. In hindsight, I should have done it then. So maybe in 5 rounds' time, I'll probably be thinking the same thing. But I'm a fucking stubborn man, and that's why I haven't touched Heaney this year either, and that's kind of paying off now. So
yeah, that's right. Well, you got to like at the end of the day, you got to like have your decisions and stick by them because if you keep changing your mind all the time, then you're going to get stung eventually. So we said Heaney's overscoring and he's going to come down. His 5 round average is like 95 now. So like we've picked up there. So if you can just keep picking up in little bits and pieces, okay, yeah, sometimes you're not going to get a $200,000 guy that averages 105, but
fuck. Yeah, mate, I wouldn't worry about Cogs too much either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Like there was no Taranto, no Whitfield, no Aish this weekend. They're playing the shittest team in the competition. So
by a mile, yeah.
If it was ever going to have a 140-point scorer, it was going to be this week, and we kind of knew that coming into it. Obviously, we didn't know about the late outs with like Aish and Taranto and stuff. If I did know that, I might have kept him for another week. But like I don't see when those players come back to the team and when they start playing half decent teams again. It's not West Coast or North Melbourne.
There was no pressure there yesterday, and he's just running around like they were witches' hats, and he was actually hitting targets, which he actually never hits a target in his life. So I can't see that being sustained. But yeah, if you're running low on trades, maybe he's a top 6, maybe he's not. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, look, it's a tough decision, right? You wouldn't recommend a tall forward, he's saying. I mean, the tall forward I'd recommend is English. That's who I'd recommend. But whether you want to touch him now, and then it doesn't suit your buyers too well. So
yeah,
that's the only problem, right?
If he suited your buyers, Jaws, I'd say like fuck it. Like, what do you got to lose? Like, you may as well have a bit of a crack at something, right? But the fact that he's just going to put you further behind for that buy, I think you're better off waiting. The more I think about it, Oliver is your pick. Because he's going to play 12, 13, so you're going to get 3 games out of him before his bye. I know they just come off West Coast, North Melbourne, but I mean, Freo, Sydney, Collingwood, they could smash all them. They can smash anyone in the comp, really. Like,
yeah, you're saying, but then I have 2 rookie forwards, in Martin and McCartan.
You'll be trading Martin this week, though. So who will he bring on? He'll have.
Well, that's the other problem. Then he has either Hamilton or like Rose or something.
I just don't know who else your option is. Like, if you're worried about having if you're that worried about it, then yeah, maybe Brodie's a better choice. What's 140k? What could, it's probably a fair enough argument. 140k. What can you do with that money? How much is Oliver going to outscore Brodie in the next 3 weeks? Probably 20 points a game.
Yeah, I'm probably speaking with too much bias, to be honest. About Brodie,
yeah, that's true.
I know, we don't want to touch him, but it does make a lot of sense for his team. Do you know what I mean? The buy's good.
Yeah.
He does need a forward. It fills that position pretty nicely. And if you're comfortable paying that much money for him, mate, I wouldn't think twice about it, to be honest. It's just to keep in mind that, 5 coming back later in the season, he might not get as much of the ball he is now, and you're paying a fuckload more for him than he's worth at the start of the season. So,
yeah. That is true. It's not having a De Koning to move forward and already having McCartan there. Yeah, you're right. It's too risky having both Roses and a Hamilton or something. And because you've got Ned Long there who's not doing anything.
Yep.
You might get a game 1 year.
So he kind of does need to bring in a forward if you give Smart the flick. So it's not a bad option, mate. I wouldn't be angry at it if I was in your situation, to be honest. So he's a pretty good pick. He's going to score pretty well for you, I think. So it's not bad.
The more. Yeah, now I think you're right, 100%. Yeah, I mean the other thing is who does Laddams play this week?
Saying to Earl Adams and Martin for Brodie and Cleary and bank 300k.
It's a lot to bank, isn't it? That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really good actually. The other out. Oh no, it doesn't really work with your buys. What round does Richmond have their buys? 12, don't they?
Is there ever a world where you go straight to Gawn this week?
Straight to Gawn.
I don't think so, but it suits his team. It means Jackson stays forward. Or could you go with Sean Darcy?
Yeah, Darcy's not a bad option.
The problem is they're playing each other this week and they're both going to probably score a little lower, but
otherwise he keeps Martin for another week, gets rid of Dacos.
Nah.
I don't think so either.
Oh.
I mean, you could.
What about yeah, I mean, you could probably do Gibcus. He's got Karmas already. Fuck, you can sit here all day doing this.
So many pieces to the puzzle.
What
is there anyway? Someone I want to talk about before. A player.
Hold on. Let me hold it up 2 seconds. I just want to have a quick look at Laddams. Tough matchup against Nankervis. Tough matchup against Gawn. Then he's got bye. Then he's got Port. Get rid of him.
Yeah, give him the flick.
Get rid of him. If you're not prepared to go early on Darcy or Gawn, Brodie's you mean?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, sorry, cut you off.
You're right, mate. I mean, I'll be keeping him. Don't even start. No, mate, we're not saying keep him. Definitely, I think now's the time to get rid of him.
If he had if he had a good matchup
in the first place, mate. The last 2 weeks wasn't the time to get rid of him, unfortunately, even though he dropped heaps of cash. But definitely now, I think it's the time. So either jump on Gawn or Darcy. You might take a bit of a hit this week. I mean, I think you definitely will take a bit of a hit this week. But
I actually don't think Darcy's a bad pickup. He's got a tough matchup against Gawn. Then Brisbane he can score against. Hawks he may get 400 points against. Then he's got the bye, and then his run after the bye is really good as well, I believe. So Carlton don't have a ruckman, Port don't have a ruckman, Saints is tough. Sydney is versing shithouse Laddams. Then Richmond, Melbourne. So he does have a good run there from Hawks to Thingo. So
how much is he?
590.
How much is that? Oh,
that's fucking pretty good still.
It's pretty good.
high break even, but like again, doesn't matter because
Doesn't
you're going to
matter.
have him.
Yeah, exactly.
Price is
Yeah,
there, high
if you can
ceiling.
afford him, I'd probably I'd jump on that.
Yeah, but what's his other ruckman? So he's got Laddams and Hayes. So like in a week, mate, you can go Gorn to Hayes to Gorn. So you can end up with a similar ruck to me. Is like I'm going to go Bruce to Gorn probably at some stage, but um, what buy does Wits have? He's got the round 12 buy. Could you
Yep.
go? Could you go Wits? I mean, it just depends if you want to pay up. Fuck, I mean, we can keep going around in circles, but I'd actually
Yeah.
consider going Darcy or Wits this week, and then wait for Gorn to come back down a little bit, and then going Hayes to Gorn. Anyway, sorry,
Food
mate.
for thought, mate. There's a lot of options there for you on the table now.
Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, the more I like that ruck rather than putting Jackson up because I think if you're thinking like, okay, Sean Darcy at 590 or Will Brodie at 520.
Yeah, but then he's still got to deal with the. I know he doesn't sing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
works.
and then the
Yeah,
week after because he's already got Bont, right? That's when he brings in that. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, mate. Hot topic. Player flying under the radar.
hit me with
I
some
want to
knowledge.
know what do you think's going to happen with Dustin Martin for the rest of the season?
Oh, interesting one.
He had a low score this week. He scored pretty high the week before.
78.
Um, yeah, what did he score before that? 100 and something, didn't he? 120 maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
119 and 83 before that.
yeah. I'm a bit burnt by him. He's one of those up and down players as well with scoring.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are he finishes as like a top 10 forward this year?
From here on, I think he's not a bad chance. Richmond are playing pretty well, but it does worry me like when he gets 22 touches and 2 goals and still only scores an 83, which he did in round 8. And I was a little bit drunk on Saturday night and didn't pay too much attention to how he went. Do you know what his stats were on Saturday night?
No.
I'm gonna have a quick
Was
look.
yeah, bring it up quickly.
Uh, better off going into
I got it here. So D Martin, 3 goals, 20 disposals.
that worries me a
Wait,
little.
oh wait, no, that was a week before. That wasn't this week. Sorry, that
Okay.
was when he scored 120. That would worry me a fucking lot.
So he didn't kick a goal this round.
Yeah, so
So that's
yeah,
a positive.
zero goes till 17 disposals. Yeah, right. So that's a positive. I mean, you take one or two goals on top of that. That's like 100 points. Not bad.
So there's an out of the box option.
It's out of the box. He's cheap.
Problem is he's got that buy, that dreaded round
I'm
13
not thinking
buy.
about like a now thing. I don't think he's very good either. I've just heard a couple of people talking about him as a potential forward to pick, and I think it's interesting.
They do have a little bit of a tough sort of 3 weeks coming as well. So he could definitely be one that you sort of finish off as like a F6 or something. With the
Yeah,
DPPs, 100 average, it isn't going to cut it. Yeah, I think I
no,
tend to
it's not.
agree.
Yeah, no, I agree as well.
Cat.
Fucking crazy cat, come here, you little cunt. He's like, Dustin Martin, you're a fucking idiot.
Hopefully Peter's not watching. Vocally abusing the cat.
Come here, cunt.
Yeah, I agree, Richard. Richard, what trades are you looking at this week? Because you're sort of one trade ahead at the moment of everyone. Um, hashtag cancelled. Yeah, I agree. Um, might have to hold. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's probably the week to do it. You got couple of less trades than me. Are you at 13 like some are? Some money for SDK until rocks come down. 14. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah, I think De Koning and McCartan are probably on that point where if you need the money, you can definitely trade them. But if it's going to help your buys, then I'm still a little bit short for round 12, so I'm going to be holding him.
Yep. No, agreed. Any other plays you think are a must-have this week, mate?
I don't think there's any players that are a must-have this week. Like Sinclair's, that as we talked about, is one that if you are really good for that round 12, he's one that with that extra midfield time, I think is a good choice. It's just whether or not you want to get him for one game and then he has a bye. So that's an option. Bailey Smith and Bont. Bont could be almost a must-have this week if you can deal with the round 13 bye. I've got to wait till probably after that bye to get in now. So I'm going to be paying a little bit extra. I don't know.
In terms of rookies, must-haves, you think? Any that you...
I think Cleary's pretty close to a must-have. I think his main concern with losing his spot was O'Brien, and they both played on the weekend. He looks pretty good, and he scored well, so I think he's as close to a must-have in defence as you can get.
Yep.
Otherwise, if you can't afford to, or you can't bring in a defender rookie for whatever reason, Cooper Stevens is a very good rookie as well, and he'll be very consistent. It's just his maybe job security is not as good. And then another rookie, as we said before, to keep an eye on is this guy from GWS who will be, I think, if he holds his spot, will help through the round 13 bye. So, and he'll be on the bubble that round as well. So he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But we'll talk about him more next week if he plays, I guess. I think like he was in the team before all the people came out too. So it's them coming back in is not going to make him lose his spot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Stevens was unfortunately, I think he's a bit younger, but maybe Geelong is starting to realise they can't just always keep topping the list up with 30-year-olds. He was 2019 first round draft pick, I think. So yeah, he's around that time. Supercoach, is this basically fantasy AFL? It's not, but it's very similar, I'd suggest. I actually don't play fantasy AFL myself, but from a couple of the guys that I sort of watch their stuff, and they do both. I think it's very similar. I think the scoring's just a little bit. Different. So they award different points for pressure and goals and all that sort of stuff. So it's just a different version of it, from what I understand.
It's a shitter version, I think.
Yeah, looking at the screen, it's not as it doesn't look as nice as this. From my opinion, anyway. I like the green background being on the field. So. So my name is Tito. G'day, Tito.
What's happening, Tito?
Yeah, so you got 6 defenders. I don't know if it's the same structure in the fantasy as well. 8 mids, 2 rucks, 6 forwards, and then you got your bench players as well.
Mate, you're doing pretty well, Tito. What about yourself, buddy?
Yeah, we're good.
A little bit aggressive, mate, but I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass this time.
Yeah, fucking hell, mate. Come in here and start yelling it up.
Yeah, calm your fucking tits, buddy. Jesus Christ.
How you going in your fantasy AFL anyway? Tito, what's his?
Do you play Supercoach, Tito, or you play fantasy AFL or something, mate, or what's the go, buddy? Don't touch it. Do you follow AFL, Tito?
It might be an NRL Supercoach guy. Could be NFL actually. Be what time is it in America?
What's your sport, Tito? What's your sport, mate?
Yeah, give us some info, buddy. Love it.
Australia tag. Love it.
Well, mate, if you're interested in getting involved, it is too late to start this year.
Mate, we'll be happy to help you out next year for sure.
It did actually cross my mind, like if you just waited till like the bubble of round 3, right, and you created the perfect team, how much could you catch up? With full trades in the bank, you'd have like the perfect team. Could you do some damage?
I think you'd be struggling, but you'd do all right.
I think that's the thing is like the guys who are at the top, they have that team, except they've scored the first 2 rounds. So
yeah. What I want to hear Tito's sport, mate. What do you follow?
I think he strikes me as a UFC kind of man, I reckon.
Well, we are called Nosebeers in sports. We do predominantly do fucking AFL at the moment, but we dip our toes in quite a lot.
Yeah, we're trying to tee up a fight night to do and do a little bit of a watch party if that is any of interest to anyone. I don't know if anyone's into the UFC, so we'll try and tee that up at some point. We're being a little bit lazy, but we know beer, mate.
We know beer, and a lot about sports.
Yeah. So occasionally we'll do a little beer review. Mainly it's the 4X Gold cans that we've got in the fridge. Yeah, no beer, yeah, mate.
Yeah. Know a lot about beer.
Yeah. We'll try and do a couple of them at some point as well, and we do, like, we watch the footy live. I'm hoping at some point, a bit of Formula One. I'm hoping at some point that Netflix have a thing where you can, if you like have a Netflix subscription and you're subscribed to the channel, you can like tune in and essentially put the Netflix at the same time, so everyone sort of can watch the same thing together. So I'm hoping at some point they'll do that with KO, so we can all sort of have the game live on. You'll be able to watch it at the same time and have a bit of commentary and that sort of stuff as well. So that would be nice, but I don't know how far away that is. But I mean, it's 2022; it shouldn't be too far away.
Thought you were talking about nose beers. Oh, mate, we were.
We do. We nose beer.
Used to play a bit of Q sports.
Bit of pool,
mate. Bit of billiards.
Yeah, nice. Any other sports that use a cue?
I can't think of any, mate. I mean, might be able to play golf with a cue, but it might be a bit hard.
Do that for putting. Plenty of cues at the football at the moment.
Yeah, mate. There's always queues and lines to get those beers.
What else did we touch on? Oh, the hour of power.
Oh, mate, we were close. We were doubly close, actually, this week when fucking Neil missed that second goal.
I know. Would have had that ticked off before half time.
Oh, that would have been a nice little bonus.
And then a minute and a half to go, he was running into an open goal and the free kick got called.
It's just ridiculous, dude. Like,
we're going to have a chat about that, actually.
Don't even get me fucking... you're going to wind me the fuck up about this game. Like,
No. Well, I'm in the same boat as you.
Hold my fucking rocks off.
I happened to be in the winning position, but it was just all round awful.
Got to be some of the worst umpiring that's ever existed in the history of the sport. Like, it was just fucked.
Thanks, Tito, mate. If you thanks for giving us a follow and stuff too, mate. And if you got any questions about it doing Supercoach next year, we'll try and do some stuff before the start of the year, so that might help out. But anyway, keep going on your rant.
Yeah, thanks, Tito, mate. Appreciate the follow. Where was I, mate? It's got to be some of the worst umpiring I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, some of those calls were just so fucked. Yeah, the highest free kick count in history of the game.
I think it was since 2012. So they need to have a really good hard look at themselves.
Like, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, there was bad calls on either side, right? Like, both teams got some fucking shockers. There was definitely some bad calls and some pretty crucial moments in that fourth quarter for Brisbane, though, I thought. Same with Hawks too.
It was just all round bad. Like,
it was just all round shocking. But like some of those push ones where it was off the ball pushes, where I was just like, just a fucking touch. And you see all season long, like, players like fucking full on going at each other, jersey punching each other, and nothing that gets called. And then these people are just like giving each other a smack on the bum pretty much, and these
Yeah.
fucking paying 50-meter penalties and crazy shit left and right.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I don't
ridiculous.
think there was more than 2 minutes of free play without the fucking whistle being blown.
No.
It's like
Where's Brad
it's
Scott gone? Like he's just disappeared off the face of the
just
planet. He's had
disappeared.
like a
Yeah,
tough. He's new to the job. He's like come out and like been all staunch and said, "No, this is the way we're doing it." And then he's just completely disappeared off the face of the planet when the fans are they're they're going to stop watching it. Like Gill actually came out and did something decent and kept the grand final. Like that's what the fans wanted. 2:30 start, awesome, but it's going to be pretty shocking if the umpire's like that on the day. No one's going to give a fuck if it's 2:30 or 4:30. They'll be turning
holy
it off.
fuck, yeah, that was just atrocious, mate. It's like Brad Scott copped all that flack over the no talking back to the umpires thing earlier in the season. And then it's just gone like I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but it's fucking retarded, whatever it is.
There's like, like it's bad enough when the fans are saying, but now like all the experts, all the media are starting to say the same thing, and it's just going to snowball until they actually address it. You can't just sweep it under the rug and hope it goes away.
Yeah. Like normally the commentators will kind of try to give both sides, and when a free kick happens, like, oh, this is probably why it happened, or da 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 da. All those free kicks, they were just like, oh, I don't really know what they saw there. Like that was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just atrocious. Like that was.
They've got to realise
I
that at
don't
the end
know.
of the day, like it is a contact sport, right? Like it's we're not going to get to the point of where it's like soccer, and if we keep avoiding free kicks at that rate, everyone's going to be diving. I played a futsal game on Wednesday, and the ref was like just as bad as that ref, and it was because he didn't take the whistle out of his mouth, and because of that, and because he was calling that so often, people were diving left, right, and centre. There was a
And when you
million
know
for
it's going
his
to get
kick
paid,
call. Exactly, yeah.
yeah,
So it's just
you, that's how you end up with like Premier League football, where people are just fucking not even getting touched. They're touching the other person, and they're jumping in the air for a free kick, and it's like
yeah,
it's just going to ruin the sport. Like you can't do it. It's a contact fucking sport.
yeah.
Like it's insane. Like
It's crazy. It
they're not
is.
you don't want the players to show emotion when like they think they've been called wrong. Like I get being rude to the umpire is one thing, but just like showing a bit of emotion
Just
in
don't
the
call
heat of
him
a game is
a
one thing. Like
cunt.
yeah, don't call them a cunt, but
Yeah.
now you want the players to be robots, and then like they can't have any fucking argy bargy at all. It's just ridiculous. Like it's just does my head in.
It's
Does my
crazy,
head in,
mate.
mate.
It's like
There needs to be some kind of fucking independent review of the umpiring of that game, and some serious shit like goes down where they sit that umpire down, those set of umpires, and make them re-watch the entire game
yeah.
and go, look at this call right here. Why did you make it? And this is why it's wrong.
We just want a
And
bit of
go
like
like,
accountability
yeah,
too. Like
yeah,
pay the umpires some more money as well. Like put some actual money into like getting some decent umpires who are prepared to, train during the week and, you know, you obviously start at the kids footy on the Saturday and work your way up, but like actually pay them enough that they want to keep doing it. And like, this is the other thing that was really annoying me was they're saying that some umpires aren't getting in because they can't bounce the ball. Fucking throw the ball up. Who gives a fuck?
yeah. I
It's
don't care if
better
you fucking bounce it on the ground or throw it in
bounce
the
it for
air.
the first bounce of the game on grand final day. Apart from that, I could not give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck, mate. It goes in the same place, straight up in the air. Throw it, bounce it. I don't give a fuck.
There was
Just
one thing Gorn actually said. He said it's actually worse for the ruckman if they throw it up because you sort of know where the ball's going all the time. Whereas at least if they bounce, it's a little bit off to the side. They don't line each other up and hit the knees. So that was one thing where I thought, okay, keep the bounce. But I mean, if it means that we're going to have umpiring like we did on Sunday, it's got to go as well. Because you'd much rather have actually higher class umpires in there. But yeah, I mean, Brad Scott's got to take some responsibility. Yeah. They've got to come out and say, look, this season's gone too far. This is what we're going to work on. This is what we're doing about it.
This needs to be addressed. Like that was just horrible, and it was a great game of footy. Like in between that, like
100%,
great early. Hawks are coming back strong. Lions are trying to fight back late. Like it was a fucking banging game of footy.
Yeah,
but
imagine if there was just not a free kick called that entire game, right? I don't think it changes too much of the game. It was a close game. Like the result might have gone, one way or the other, but. As you said, the flow, the high scoring, like everything else was awesome.
Just cooked it, mate. Like it literally that game was so good to watch, and I follow Brisbane, you follow the Hawks. Like,
Yeah.
so I wanted to watch the game.
Yeah.
It made me turn it off about 4 times, and then like 2 minutes later, I turned it back on again because I wanted to watch the game. But
Yeah.
it's just like it
Free
made
kick
me stop
again.
watching. Like,
Yeah.
I turn it back on, and there's another free kick, and then I'd message you guys going, "This is just fucking ridiculous." And if it's like making me stop wanting to watch the game, and it's my team playing the game, and it's a close game, and I watch a lot of fucking sports.
Yeah.
Imagine like what the casual fans are doing when they see this shit. So it's not good for the game. Like, they need to do something about it.
100%.
That's the end of my fucking rant.
Well, I think everyone's in the same boat there, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's anyone that's going to come out and say that the umpiring's been good this year, that's for sure. So
yeah. Anyway, so do something about it, Scotty.
Yeah. You heard it here first, mate, on Nose Beers and
First, mate, or we'll come after you. We'll send our loyal followers, and they'll hound your Twitter account.
Yeah, Jules will be there heckling at next training session.
Yeah.
With your fucking multis.
Yeah, mate, I'll just follow you all around at your press conference with a referee's whistle in my mouth and just fucking blow it with every single breath.
That's what we need. We need the chasers. The chasers back.
Yeah, chasers come back. It's declared.
How'd you go on the tipping this week?
I haven't looked at my results yet, actually. I just got the email. I'll have a little look. What about yourself? What did you get while I'm bringing it up?
6, I think.
Yeah, 6 out of 9 for me too. There's outstanding tipping, 6 out of 9. I don't think that's really outstanding.
They just said that because it's got 6 and 9 in
it. I think I did get really close to the margin on that first game, though. I think, what was the margin, like 15 points or something? I think I picked 11 points or something, so it was pretty close.
I think I just put in 1 point every single time because I'm more likely to get the game wrong and then...
Yeah. And then what did I miss?
The Sunday was pretty hard with Hawks getting up and
Hawks and Collingwood.
Yeah. I got the Friday night one wrong. Actually, I did. You were pretty keen on Carlton. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, games for this week. Sydney Richmond. That should be a good game on Friday.
Should be a cracker, mate. Where is that? SCG.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. It'll be interesting to see if Sydney can.
Almost would have preferred that game to be at the MCG just for, I think Sydney just playing better there than their home ground. But yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
Great one.
Who'd you go there? I reckon it's going to be pretty bloody close.
I think it's close. Tigers have been in pretty decent form recently, so it makes me kind of want to lean towards them. But yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to pick Sydney.
Yeah.
I might pick Sydney in this one.
Bit of a 50-50.
Bit of a 50-50. Lions, obviously, staunch GWS. Geelong, steamroll Adelaide.
Yep.
Finally, we get Melbourne Freo.
Couple of weeks too late. Well, looks.
Couple of weeks too late by the looks, because Freo on that red hot run.
Sydney are actually $1.60 favourites. Interesting.
Are they? Yeah, right.
I would have thought it was more like a 50-50 game on that one.
Yeah, $1.90 odd.
Brisbane $1.15, Geelong $1.09, Melbourne $1.22 now. Yeah,
right. Yeah, so I mean, it would have been nice to see it a couple of weeks ago when Freo on that red hot trot. They obviously dropped a couple of games that they probably shouldn't have. So it'll be interesting if they can find a bit of that form they had earlier on and make it a bit of a closer game. They definitely have the potential to do it with some of the games they won earlier in the season. Like, they've got a quality side that plays well. It's just whether they can get back to that a little bit for this week. But I think Melbourne's still just too good. I think they actually have a red hot chance of going fucking undefeated this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't see who beats them at the moment. They're just so fucking good. And if they do, that would be insane to fucking watch. Undefeated season.
Freo, it'd be interesting to see if it's a dry game. Sort of difference that
wet,
makes.
Mate, they could get some good track conditions.
Well, yeah, I mean, Freo have had the wet weather the last 2 weeks, and they just didn't learn from the game at the Gold Coast, and they just still tried to play the same game. Like, they just didn't have any of that kick forward and hope, and when they did, the targets just weren't there. So, yeah, I mean, Fife would be a massive in if he can get up for that game. I don't know if he's going to quite get there. But, they need him in the forward line now more than ever, it looks like.
Yep.
I think the midfield's going enough. You can put him forward and have another tall target. I mean, imagine having Fife as your third target inside 50. It's pretty handy.
Yeah, it'd be crazy good.
Dual Brownlow medalist.
Yeah. Doggies, easy up. Suns, Hawks is a good game, I think.
That's a low-key good game. It's a bit of a shame it's in Whoop Whoop. But,
yeah. I think Hawks probably still is my pick for that one. But it should be good.
What's the odds on that one? Gold Coast $1.75 favourites. Interesting.
Interesting.
Saints North's a walkover.
Carlton Collingwood could be good. I think Carlton are too good.
Probably the game of the round though, like in regards to like.
Yep, MCG.
Yeah.
Cracker. Yep.
Yep.
And then Port Essendon could go Port by 100 points, or it could be close. So.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind the. I think the Bombers were a lot better on Saturday. They were actually giving it a red hot crack for the first time all year. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against a sort of team like Port. But I mean, I'll put Port in probably a similar position to what Richmond are at the moment. So it might just be they'll try, but they just probably won't get there. But it looks like a fairly straightforward week on paper, but we'll probably get 3 this week or something.
Yeah, it does. It always seems to happen like that, doesn't it? Oh yeah, straightforward week. I'll multi it up big, and then it just you get fucked.
Yeah, that's it. So we won't tip Freo again unless we know it's going to be a dry track, and Hawks we know can beat anyone now. So
the fucking umpires in their pocket, mate. It was in Tasmania.
Yeah.
No, good. Radio, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think we're doing it a fair shake of the sauce bottle. What did you think of? Did you have a bet in the election, mate?
I didn't have a punt on it, mate. I thought it was going to be pretty clear cut. I didn't see what the odds were.
They got pretty short in the end, I think. No pun intended.
Did you get on it early on, or?
Nah, I didn't. I just left it alone. But I was tempted. They were out to like $7, and then like last year they won, and after they were out to about $7. But I thought it was all pretty straightforward. But as I said, I was pretty pissed on Saturday night, and I was sitting there watching it, and I was just watching that acceptance speech. I was like, fucking hell, we're in a bit of trouble here. Anyway, we won't get political on this show.
Albo having a crack at everyone in the crowd for getting a bit too rowdy.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I just can't get.
Hold on 2 seconds, mate. I gotta prepare it back.
Righto. I don't know if anyone saw the everyone that's in Australia anyway saw the political campaign from the Liberals on the TV that had Albanese as like Gollum, like Schmeagol, like walking around saying "My precious" as like an animated cartoon. But I just can't get that picture out of my head now, so I just piss myself when I look at him. Yeah,
I think Sportsbet had odds up whether he'd be going to be DJing after the at the after party.
I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me or not. Did you ever see that ad of Albanese as like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings? Like,
no, he put that up the libs.
Oh fuck, that was so good. It was like Liberals put it up, and they made like an animated like claymation slander ad in the lead up to the campaign of like Albanese as like Gollum, like like I can't remember, he was like hoarding like taxpayer money or something crazy. It's just like yeah, so I just can't get that in my head when I look at him now.
The
DJ. All right, mate, let's call it.
Pretty good. All right,
guys,
we might do something a little later in the week or something if anyone's got any questions or anything. Otherwise, we'll good luck this week, and cheers.
Yep. Righto, boys. We'll catch you later.
Catch you.